Broadcasting from the studios of Business RadioX, it's time for Advisory Insights, brought to you by Oberman Law Firm, serving clients nationwide with tailored service and exceptional results. Now, here's your host.
Welcome, everyone, to Advisory Insights Podcast. I am your host, Stuart Oberman. Well, for those that know me, I tell you, we do a lot of HR as a firm. We see a lot of problems locally, nationally, regionally, globally on HR violations. So I want to talk a little bit about HR violations, really an overview of potential HR employer violations. That is such a wide area. I mean, we're talking about employment law. We're talking about state, federal, regulatory issues. We're talking about EEOC, and we're talking about audits. We're talking about, employee complaints. So what I want to do is just talk about a couple things top of mind, really, that can really get you into trouble. And I tell you, we see a lot of these areas of concern that can really be avoided, but it's going to take some soul searching. It's going to take some drilling down. It's going to take some hard decisions. Look, you can't turn a ship around overnight. You got to make small steps. And if you do anything on these podcasts, it's take a look at what we're talking about and apply it to what you have, whether you're a healthcare practice, whether you are a startup, whether you are a billion-dollar construction company. It doesn't matter. The same law applies. So let's take a look at some of the most common ways that we feel that employers violate the law. In this great resignation world that we're in, our employers use prohibited questions during job interviews. You have to be very, very careful. And we're going to cover this in future podcasts. So a lot of these areas we're going to expand upon, but we're just going to have top of mind issues. Job interviews, questions. Are you prepared? The answer is probably not. Are your candidates recording your conversations? You bet they are. So one of the things that we take a look at also is not allowing employees, depending on the size of the business, a lot of ramifications of employees to discuss their pay. Now we're looking at National Labor Relations Board issues. So, those are the National Labor Relations Board, you bet, will apply to small businesses. Overtime, one of the biggest areas that our employers get in trouble with are overtime. And I say this all the time when I speak, when I talk. Overtime is a lot of things. You're working 40 hours a week, so you're texting your employees after hours. Yep, that's overtime. You're emailing your staff overtime. Yep. You're calling your office manager, depending on where they're located at. If they make $100,000 or more, they're still subject to overtime. You got to be careful of this. We're going to take a look at some of those issues coming forward also. Huge issue. Independent contractor versus employee. The IRS loves these kind of reviews. Key, are you controlling the time, place, and manner? That's a whole topic for discussion on employee versus independent contractor. It is very tough to win that argument. It is very tough to win an audit on that. So, one thing in this great social media world that we live in, are you disciplining your employees for complaining about you? Small, medium, large company, about you on social media. Do you have restrictions? Are you following them on social media? Are you looking for things that they're saying about you? How to prevent also a hostile work environment. And I'm talking about gender neutral. I'm talking about harassment. I'm talking about all forms of harassment, bullying. I can't believe what some of our clients tell us happens in their employment situations. I'm talking about Title VII violations. I'm talking about sexual orientation issues. I'm talking about gender identity. I'm talking about religion. I'm talking about race, color, national origin. These are all the things that occur on a hostile work environment that are a violation of federal law. Look, I can probably take any one of these topics and discuss an hour on them. The key, again, what are we doing with Advisory Insights Podcast? What are we doing? We're taking the high-level topics with a 10,000-foot view And are you looking at these particular areas? 6, 7, 8 areas. Are you looking at them? Again, short, sweet, bullet point topics that we can talk an hour on. That's the goal in Advisory Insights podcast. That's what we want to do. We want to take things at a very high level, apply it to what you're looking at, whether you're, again, small, startup. Are you looking at these things? We're going to continue talking about these things in greater detail. We're going to continue talking about what affects our employers on a regional, national, global basis. I want to talk about also some of these things on future podcasts. And also, don't forget, we also cover these on our newsletter, Advisory Insights. If you want to get a copy of our newsletter, please let us know. Folks, thank you very much for joining us on our Advisory Insights podcast. Please visit us at advisoryinsightspodcast.com. If you want to reach me, please feel free to call the office, 770-886-2400, or visit Oberman Law Firm, obermanlawfirm.com, or send me an email, Stuart, Stuart, at obermanlaw.com. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us. Keep listening to our podcast. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Advisory Insights. This show is brought to you by Oberman Law Firm, a business-centric law firm representing local, regional, and national clients in a wide range of practice areas, including healthcare, mergers and acquisitions, corporate transactions, and regulatory compliance.